Hey guys, Shane Gramling here. This is part 3 of a 4-part series on domain name danger, so use the box below to find links to the other parts of this series. Whenever you register a domain, you pay on a per-year basis. Typically, you can pay for up to 10 years, and some registrars even allow for you to buy 100 years. However, with that 100-year option, you're not technically registering for 100 years. That registrar just promises to continue to renew it for 100 years. So the official registration database is only going to show the 10. Now, before you go cheap and register a domain name for just a year or two, there's a few things you need to know. First off, if you register for just a year or two, whenever the time comes around for your domain name to be renewed, there's a slim chance that you might miss the notification email, and don't think your domain registrar is going to send you anything in mail either. I've never received any paper mail for my domain name registrations, except from spammers that are trying to steal the business. So the bottom line is registering for a short period of time increases your risk of losing the domain by accident. Now, if you do lose a domain name, you risk it either going back on the market for anyone to purchase, which is sometimes good for you because you can go back out and buy it again, but most of the time, your domain name will go to an auction. Now, I'll cover auctions in the 4th segment of this video series, so be sure to check that out. Also, now this hasn't been proven, but a lot of search engine optimization buffs really push for people to register their domain names for 5 to 10 years out. And the reason behind that is there's the theory that the search engines are looking at that information, and if you've registered your domain for 5 or 10 years, then you look like a more credible website and not so much a spam site, which means search engines are going to jump and favor you before others. Now, in theory, this makes total sense. You look less like a spam site because you're invested, you've got 5 or 10 years saying you're going to exist for that long. Now, before you register your domain for the full 10, there's another little stipulation that you need to be aware of. If you register a domain name for 10 years, you will not be able to transfer it until it drops down to 9, because the person receiving the transfer is technically buying a year on the registration, which would top it to 11, which is impossible. So if you register your domain name for 10 years, just know that you're not going to be able to do any transfers for at least a year. Now, for those of you that own a very valuable domain name, this little caveat could be beneficial, especially if you're worried about people hacking your account and stealing your domain. Just keep your registration topped off to 10 years at all times, and that'll keep an extra wall of security. Comments, questions, concerns, or simply need advice? Find me on Twitter @Shane Gramling or comment below. See you tomorrow.